Hey everyone, it's Nate with Outside Cleaners. I'm out here on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, where I wash the outside of buildings for a living. That means I clean roofs and decks and patios and siding, and because of where I live, that means mostly I clean all forms of cedar. I'm making this video today specifically for cleaners that are still kind of new to the industry. You're figuring out how to clean things, but you're still struggling with what to charge for the services you're providing. I'll start and end this video by saying I don't know everything. I'm never gonna. I don't have magic. If you can make a mistake in this industry, I've probably made it. That being said, I've been cleaning out here full time on Cape Cod in what is a very competitive market since 2012. So here I am, I'm in my own house. Those are my cars in the driveway. That's my boat in the driveway, etc. So my point is I'm living a good life in this business, and the process I'm going to show you to come up with your fees and rates I think is worth some consideration if you are struggling to figure out what you should charge for the services you're providing. Again, I don't know everything, but this is the process that I've used, and hopefully it'll at least be food for thought for you. This is going to take time. It's not magic. It's not, I don't believe whatsoever in looking to your left and right and seeing what these guys are charging, so just picking something in the middle. What those guys are charging has absolutely nothing to do with what you need to charge to make the living that you want to make, okay? The common tale, and I mean the tale I hear from new guys every single week of the calendar year is, well, they've got all the work in the world, but after doing this for a couple seasons, they just can't seem to pile up any money. It's because they're not charging enough. They're not charging appropriately for the services that they're providing. All right, so let's get right into it. You're going to need a couple pieces of paper and probably many hours to figure this out. Just is what it is. So on one piece of paper, I want you to make a list of every expense you're going to have if you're living the content life that you want. I don't mean the dream life with helicopters and Ferraris and all that. But what I'm saying is, if you're going through a tough spot right now and you're trying to put your life together and you're living on somebody's couch and you're borrowing their bicycle and all this stuff, I'm not talking about your expenses right now. I'm talking about really dig deep, look ahead a little bit at the life that you think is within your grasp. It's not the life that you currently have, but it's the life that you will fight tooth and nail and never give up for. Okay? That's the life I want you to picture. That's the expense I want you to think about. What's it going to cost to live where you want, where you really want to live for the next few years and be happy and content? What's that mortgage or rent going to cost? What's your transportation going to cost? Right down the line, and I mean every single expense. Your food, the clothes on your back, your utilities, everything. Write it down, make the expense on a yearly basis, and now add all that up. Now this, obviously that's going to take you some time, but that's what you need to list down, because you're going to have to come up with a number. You cannot decide what to charge for your services until you understand clearly what you need to make to live the life that you want. Okay? For the sake of argument, let's come up with a number. And look, 100 grand, okay? You want to make 100 grand that's what your life is going to cost each year to live a really good life. And by the way, let's not forget, you don't want to just break even, right? You want to maybe save some for retirement or save some for a vacation. So add that in. But let's just, again, round numbers. You're going to come up with 100 grand. All right, so important point. You got that 100 grand lifestyle that we just came up with. That's what you're going to be spending. You're going to have to make more than that because you're going to have to pay taxes. So just ballpark it, add 25%. So you got to come up with 125 grand to pay for the lifestyle that you'll be happy with for the next couple years. That's what you as an individual or as a family need to bring home. That's not what the business needs to make, because the business has its own expenses, right? The business is going to have equipment. The business is going to have probably a truck or a trailer, maybe a storage space, maybe a garage. The business is going to have insurance, right? Maybe advertising. You name it. If the business has the expense, I want you to list all that on another piece of paper. Now, maybe you don't know what it's going to be. Maybe you don't know. I don't know what workers' compensation insurance is going to cost. Well, for the moment, write down a number as a placeholder. Just take a guess, because a guess is better than a zero. Okay? So write those down, and then for anything that you're not sure about, do the research, do the legwork and homework, and look it up. Call up some insurance agencies. Explain who you are and what you want to do. You want to cover yourself with insurance? Get a quote from them. It's going to take time. Maybe right now you're working out of your driveway, but you know that you're going to need a garage to rent so things don't freeze or get wet or get stolen or whatever. Take a guess. Write it down. Okay? The point again is any number on this sheet is better than a zero. You want to account for every single possible business expense. Hey, hun. All right, so now you've got two pieces of paper. One with all the yearly expenses for the lifestyle that you want, that you're going to fight your hardest for. The other has the expenses for your business if you're staying busy, if you're driving and spraying and cleaning and doing all the things. Lifestyle stuff, I think we said 125. Let's just say the business side is 50 grand just for itself, just for the truck, the trailer, the equipment, the garage, the soap, insurance, right down the line. So we add these together, 175 grand. That's how much work you need to do in a year to have the life that you want. Okay. Don't tune out, because this is where it gets good. How many days a year can you really clean, or do you want to clean? This is going to depend heavily on where you live geographically. Michigan, Florida, big difference. I'm out here on Cape Cod. It's a 3-season cleaning scene here. Yes, I clean a couple days in January, February, but I can't count on it. I can't count on that type of weather. We've had Aprils in the last 10 years where we had like 5 blizzards in April. So how much can you really count on cleaning? And I'm not talking about worrying about getting enough work. That'll come with time. How much time in the calendar year can you count on cleaning? Is it 5 days a week, 10 months a year? Is it 3 days a week, 6 months a year? You got to figure this out. Give that some real thought. And I mean, think about winter, think about bad weather, think about the type of cleaning you're going to do. And, is that impacted by wind? And are you in a windy area and that's going to constantly step on your toes? Really give this some thought. Okay? But again, round numbers, let's just make something up. Let's say you come up with 180 days a year that you're going to probably really be cleaning, realistically. But we said the total number was 175 grand, and you're going to be cleaning 180 days a year. So for all this to work, you better be making $972 a day at least. That's for like everything to work out. Now, how often in your life does everything work out just right? I can only speak for myself, but there's always something hitting the fan somewhere. So let's add something to that, a buffer. Let's add 20%. So you better be making $1,166 a day. I don't know if you can see that. for the 180 days that you're cleaning each year. Now, obviously, at least where I am, most jobs you don't bill by the day. You know, I'll show up to look at someone's deck, and they just want to know what it's going to cost. And if I say, well, it's going to be this much per day, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. So you're going to have to do a little math here, and you're going to have to get good at estimating. So here's where you're going to have to come up the learning curve. You're going to have to learn how to look at a prospective job and understand, okay, is this a day of work for you? Is this a half a day of work for you? Is this even less than that? Again, speaking just for myself, I can say that there's certain jobs I look at and I think, okay, that's going to take me 2 hours. Well, I'm not going to charge them, I'm not going to show up and tell them like, okay, this, I charge this much per day for this little job. That's useless information and it's going to turn them off, right? So I'll look at a job and I'll say, okay, this little job, how many of these could I do in a day? Okay, if I can do 4 in a day, then I will be dividing that number that we came up with by 4. And I'll say, okay, well, that's a $300 job. Do I do little jobs like that? Absolutely. All the time. I fill days with those little jobs, days. The truth is, I have no idea what other cleaners in my area charge for jobs or by the hour or what. I don't know what their expenses are. I know to the penny what my expenses are, both on the income, the business side and the household side. Everyone's got their own business model. Everyone's got their own financial needs. This is why when people call me and they say, oh, they live in Georgia and they're getting into cleaning tennis courts and they're just curious, what do I charge to clean a tennis court? It'd just be helpful for them. That's why I don't give them a number. I don't what I charge to clean a tennis court literally has nothing to do with what you should charge to clean a tennis court wherever you are in the world, okay? What I charge to clean a square of roofing or a deck has literally nothing to do with what you should charge because you have your own financial needs and I have my own financial needs. Look, there's a lot more that we can talk about in this topic, but I sure hope that this gives, again, the new people in the industry a sense of what needs to go into the legwork to figure out what you should charge for the work you're going to do. I'm not at all a believer of, calling around and finding out what other people are charging because, again, what they charge has nothing to do with what you need to charge. And it is extremely common these days that I'm talking with people that are, they've been cleaning for a couple seasons and they're as busy as can be and they can't figure out why they never have any money. And it's because they're using some generic pricing tool or app or program or rule of thumb that they read on a bulletin board online, and it's got nothing to do with their situation. All right. I hope that helps somebody. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Please fire away in the section below. All right. Bye for now.